Alright, late Saturday night. Let's get this one started. We are 12 hours away from NFL action tomorrow, and, well, where do we start? For starters, we got Miami and Baltimore. Thought about this one for a little while, and I probably flipped back and forth 3 or 4 times. I suppose I'll say I feel safer with Miami. When I envision this game in my head, I see Pennington picking the Baltimore Ravens defense apart with little short passes, and I also see Joe Flacco continuing his, downward spiral, and, I still like Flacco. I think Flacco could be a good quarterback one day, but he's going through his, he's taking his licks right now. His trial by fire is right now, and he's going to struggle for a little while, probably. You never know when a quarterback like that is going to turn it around. Alex Smith was never good his first season. Other quarterbacks are able to turn it around after a couple games, but I'll take Miami at home. I got Buffalo over San Diego. I thought about this one for a long time too, but then I think San Diego traveling all the way to Buffalo, it's a long flight. They got to play in the morning to them. And Buffalo feels like to them, it's midday. But to San Diego, it's the morning. And we all know how that can affect teams. Throw in the fact that San Diego just played a great game against New England. Really just a beautiful performance by San Diego against New England. And, the propensity of this team to disappoint just when you think they've got everything sorted out. I'll take Buffalo coming off the bye and a tough loss to Arizona. Pittsburgh, Cincy, pretty elementary stuff here. There's no Willie Parker, but, Cincy is a Dan Orfalorski safety away from being the worst team in the league right now, and they still might be. So, yeah, I'm going to take Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Kansas City. Again, pretty elementary stuff here. I don't know who's playing quarterback for Kansas City, but I definitely see the Titans defense pulverize whoever it may be. I'm guessing it's going to be Damon Heward, but you never know with Kansas City right now. Giants and Niners. Giants at home coming off a tough loss. I definitely see them rolling. JT O'Sullivan, I think, is still one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league right now, so he'll definitely be eating turf throughout this game. Let's see. Bears-Vikings. Thought about it. But I'm going to go with Chicago. They're coming off the tough loss. Minnesota's won 2 in a row. Congratulations to that. But I don't see them as being a great team that can build on that. I see, them as a, mid-tier team that can beat some teams if you, turn their back on them. But I just don't see them being able to build on their 2-game winning streak, even though for some teams I would say that's them getting back on track. So I will take Chicago coming off that tough loss against Atlanta. And, they know what's wrong with this team right now. They need to find a way to seal things up, at the end. Because they've had fourth quarter leads in all of their losses. So I'm taking Chicago at home. That's something you can figure out. You can figure out how to get your team to stop giving away leads at the end. So, yeah. New Orleans, Carolina. Carolina, I look at them. I see Jake Delhomme bouncing back after last week's debacle. And they're at home, so generally at this point, you kind of have to take the home team in all NFC South matchups, and usually that'll play out good for you. That's probably the best bet you can make. In New Orleans, they still have the questionable secondary. They're still not scoring as many points as they should. So I'll go with Carolina here. Dallas, St. Louis. Looks like Brad Johnson is playing. I'd probably take Dallas either way. I think people forget just how bad this Rams team is just because they won last week. They're bad. I think people have just kind of forgotten that. Houston, Detroit. Houston showed some life last week. They're at home. They're definitely better than Detroit. I think we've seen that much so far this season. And, yeah. I don't really like picking this game that much because, I look at Detroit's offense. It still could explode one of these days because they do have quite a few weapons over there. I like Kevin Smith. I like Calvin Johnson, etc. And then they're going up against another team that I don't think is very good, but I have to take Houston in this situation. Jets Raiders. Yeah, give me the Jets coming off the bye. Traveling to Oakland, and that's a long plane ride, but I don't think Oakland's good enough to make up the difference. Let's see. Washington, Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland, the thing is, the last time we had a season like this where there was no clearly dominant team, a lot of mediocre teams were able to string together some lucky wins and make the postseason, and some of them weren't nearly as bad as we thought initially. Like the first month of the season, we saw them play and we made, assumptions about how good they were. But because the league was so balanced, they were able to bounce back easier than we thought. So, Cleveland, they're 2-3. It wouldn't take much for them to get their feet back on the ground, but I'll take Washington at home. I feel good there. Indy over Green Bay. I think Indianapolis has finally landed this season, and I think we'll know more after next week when they play the Titans. That'll be a great game, but I definitely think they're going to win here, go on the road. I think Peyton has finally found the rhythm he's been searching for, and I think Indy could coast through the rest of the season and finish with 12 wins maybe. I could see this. Tampa, Seattle. I look at this game. Tampa Bay's defense, its only weakness right now is at cornerback. Rondé Barber's not playing that well. Jermaine Phillips, he's alright, but he does some stupid stuff as well. And Aqib Talib is a rookie, so I know we won't be able to run it. I know we won't be able to utilize the tight end because of the way their defense is. So we need a receiver to step up here. I don't know who it's going to be because we don't have great receivers right now. And defensively, we're just not playing very well right now. And going on the road, I got to take Tampa. And, I don't like the way this season is going. I just cannot envision us having any chance at all of pulling this off. And I know that a loss is really going to drive the nails in on this season. But I gotta call it like I see it and just hope for the best. That's all I can do. Finally, I'll take Denver over New England. Should be a nice little shootout, but if Denver doesn't feast on the New England secondary, we have to really question that Denver offense because they looked so good to start this season, and the last couple weeks, not so much. Alright, that's the picks. Hopefully I can do better than the last couple weeks, and with that, I'll see you guys later.